Now we'll look at SD48.7, Kamabhu Sutta 2, the discourse to Kamabhu. Okay, Kamabhu is a name of a monk. Yeah? Okay, look at page 150. This is from S41.6, Dutiya Kamabhu Sutta, the second discourse to Kamabhu. At one time, the Venerable Kamabhu was staying in a hop plum or wild mango grove in Machika Sanda. So this is a forest, right? And there are lots of wild mangoes there. Then Chitta, the house lord, approached the Venerable Kamabhu. Having gone up to him, sat down at one side. Sitting thus at one side, Chitta, the house lord, said this to the Venerable Kamabhu. Bante, how many kinds of formations are there? Right? Okay, here Chitta is the wisest of the laymen. In fact, he's so wise, monks often go to him and ask questions. But here, it's probably in an early period, his wisdom comes from being very curious about the Dharma, asking questions. So this is one of the occasions when he asked the monks questions. So he's this kind of person. He will ask questions and sometimes will be he will only teach if you ask, of course. He's quite humble. He's full of humor too sometimes. No? So he asked this monk, but the name Kamabhu, he says, how many kinds of formations are there? Mental formations. In other words, the mind form things, the mind create things. In how many ways does the mind work, if you like? So the monk answers, there are three kinds of formations, House Lord. Bodily formations, verbal formation, thought formation. All right? So our mind works in three ways, or you can say the way we live, we act in three ways, if you like. Whatever we act is called formation because we form this karma, okay? This, in other words, is karma, right? Bodily formation, actions to the body. And killing, stealing, sexual misconduct are wrong bodily formations, right? And then there are verbal formations, wrong speech, right? Then there are right speech, which is also verbal formation. Action through speech. And the third one is of the mind, of thoughts. So we express karma, we act through body, speech and mind. That's the meaning here. We form karma through body, speech and mind. So they're called formations. So Chitta says, Sadhu Bante. Right? Said Chitta, the house lord, he joyfully approved of the Venerable Kamabhu and then asked another question. But what, Bante, is bodily formation? What is verbal formation? What is thought formation? Right? Now the style of teaching here is called question answer. Catechetical, okay? Question answer. So he asks one question and then the monk answers, he asks a question about that answer. So what are these three things? And the monk answers, House Lord, the in and out breath are bodily formations. Okay, this is answering from meditation point of view. Your in and out breath is body karma, body action. Thinking and pondering are verbal action. Now this is very interesting. Thinking and pondering is regarded as speech in Buddhist psychology. All right? Now I'm not going to explain too much because the next question is going to explain this. Just put in your mind, okay? Thinking and pondering is speech action, verbal action. Speech, perception and feeling are thought action, thought formation. Perception and feeling are thought formation. So you have the breath is a body formation. Thinking and pondering is speech formation or verbal formation. And perception and feeling, recognizing things and feeling is thinking. Then Chitta asks, but Bante, why are in and out breathing bodily formations? Why are thinking and pondering verbal formations? Why are perception and feeling thought formations? Why is this so, right? So it's going to get deeper. Eh? So Kamabhu replies, 7.2, the in and out breath, House Lord, are bodily. These states are dependent on or bound up with the body. Therefore, the in and out breath are bodily formations. What does this mean? Now, when you breathe in, breathe out, what is happening is your body is expanding, right? The diaphragm goes up, down, right? So it's a bodily action in that sense. So notice the Buddha was aware of all this, how the body functions, and the breathing is regarded as an act of the body. But when you go deep into meditation, you find your breath becomes very calm. You almost don't feel the breath. There is still breathing, but very subtle. Then it becomes a mental action. That is something else, right? On a more refined level. Then, House Lord, first we think and ponder. After that, speech follows. Therefore, thinking and pondering are verbal formations. In other words, if you notice, what happens when you're thinking? Your mind is talking to you. It's a mental chatter, right? Now that's called thinking, yes, but it is regarded as verbal formation. Okay? The mind acting with speech. So when we meditate, we are keeping silent to the mouth and keeping silent to the mind also. The second one is a bit more difficult, right? So it takes more time. Perception and feeling, House Lord, are mental. These states are dependent on or bound to the mind, right? Perception, how you recognize things, is your mind working. How you feel is your mind working. Okay. So here you are. These are all very basic psychology, question answer. Then Chitta is very happy. 8 is sadhu, sadhu, Bante, right? It's very happy. And then he goes on to ask. This layman always have a lot of questions. He asks, section 9, this is his fourth question. Now, Bante, how does the attainment of cessation of perception and feeling occur? Now, just now, the monk mentioned perception and feeling. So, apparently, this House Lord, he actually, I suspect he knows all these answers, He's just asking the monk to confirm. Right? And this happens very often in the suttas. And also for our benefit, when we read it, it helps us. So here, number 9, Chitta asks the monk, when we meditate, and then you come to a level where all perception and feeling stops. Well, this is very deep, In fact, the person is like dead, right? No more heart rate and so on. So here the monk replies, House Lord, it does not occur to a monk who is attaining the cessation of perception and feeling thus. I will attain the cessation of perception and feeling. I am attaining the cessation of perception and feeling, or I have attained the cessation of perception and feeling. So he doesn't think. He doesn't say, I'm going to do it, I'm getting it, or no such thought. But rather, the mind is first cultivated in such a way so that it leads him to such a state. Right? This is very important. Let's put in very simple language. When you're meditating, you just meditate, let go of your thoughts. Right? You don't have to stop and check, am I meditating or not? Right? Now, if you have to ask the question, answer always is no. Okay? Right? So we don't ask that kind of question when you meditate. You just sit quietly, let go. Any checking you do during review period. So, Chitta is very happy. Now he asks question 5, which is section 11. When a monk is attaining the cessation of perception and feeling, Bante, which states end first? Is it the bodily formation, or the verbal formation, or the thought formation? Oh, this is a very deep question. So, in simple terms, Chitta is asking, when this monk goes into very deep meditation, when all perception and feeling stop, which one stops first? Body, speech, or mind? And the monk replies, 11.2, House Lord, when the monk is attaining the cessation of perception and feeling, the verbal formation ends first, then the bodily formations, then the thought formation, right? So when, in other words, on a simple level, how do you know you are concentrated? First is the mental chatter is gone. Mental verbalization, mental talking doesn't exist. Then, number 2 is the body actions are gone. And the last, the mind also is free, totally free of thoughts. Okay? You're not aware of your body, then the mind also becomes very still. So speech, body, mind. That's the sequence of shutting down in the attainment of cessation. Okay. Okay. Now you come to the section on difference between cessation and death. When you look at a person in deep meditation who has attained cessation, the person is as good as dead. No heartbeat, no heart rate, right? But the person is still alive. They can return to life according to the duration he has decided earlier. So section 12, Chitta is very happy, he says sadhu, and he asks another question. 13, what, Bante, is the difference between someone who is dead, done his time, and a monk who has attained the cessation of perception and feeling? So what's the difference? A dead person and someone deep in meditation who has attained cessation. No more thinking, no more feeling. House Lord, in the case of the dead, whose time is done, the bodily formations has ceased. So no more speech activity, no more body activity, no more mental activity. Right? So all the three stop. Eh? Then, yes, look, his vitality, this is the life. His vitality is exhausted. His vital heat has settled. His faculties are all broken up. So you have the life formation, or are you, and then you have the body heat. Okay. Sometimes the body can still feel warm, right? So this one we know, you touch, you can still feel warm. But the life faculty, the consciousness is still there. There's no way of knowing this. 13.3. However, House Lord, in the case of a monk who has attained the cessation of perception and feeling, the bodily formation has ceased, subsided, verbal formation has ceased, subsided, his thought formation has ceased, subsided, but his vitality is not exhausted. The life force is still there. His vital heat has not settled. The body, you can feel, is warm. And his faculties are clarified. His senses are, in fact, sharpened, so to speak. Yeah? Here, of course, the senses refer to more of the mind than anything else in meditation. So this is the difference. Yeah? So then, of course, section 14, Chitta is very happy. Then, now it asks about the end of the meditation. Now there's the ending part. 15. His question number 7, he asks, but how, Bante, does emergence from the attainment of cessation of perception and feeling occur? How does the monk come out of this deep meditation when perception, the mind, and feeling have stopped? How does it come out? 15.2. House Lord, it does not occur to a monk who is emerging from the cessation of perception and feeling thus. I will emerge from the attainment of cessation of perception and feeling. Or it doesn't say I am emerging from it, or I have emerged from it. It doesn't think like that. but rather the mind is first cultivated in such a way so that it leads him to such a state. So this also happens in when you are meditating. You just sit quietly and you get into the state. And then after that, you sit as long as you can, you enjoy the peace, and then you come out of it. Once you come out of it, then only after the fact, you review, say, oh, okay, my meditation has ended. All right? Now, this shows that during meditation, no thinking, no feeling arises, in that sense, deep in meditation. When you come out of it, by review knowledge, you know what has happened. You look back, you examine, say, okay, this happened. Okay, that's why we do review. Then have I done 17? No. Okay, 17. Now the 8th question. When a monk is emerging from the cessation of perception and feeling, Bante, what states arise first? So which one arises first? Bodily formation or verbal formation or thought formation? Body, speech, mind. Which one comes back first? After your deep meditation, you come back into the world again. Which comes back first? 7.2. House Lord. When a monk is emerging from the cessation of perception and feeling, the thought formation arises first. Then the bodily formation, then the verbal formation. That means you can say like the heartbeat starts again, right? The thought comes back. Say, okay, I'm awake, just like that. I'm awake. Okay, just a feeling of awake. You know what's going on. Okay, and then the body starts functioning again, and then the breathing also is part of it. Then your mind starts telling you, okay, I can come out of meditation now, something like that, yeah. Or rather, you use your thoughts after that. After you come out of your meditation, and you can review your practice thus far. 19. Now, Bante, when a monk has emerged from the attainment of cessation of perception and feeling, how many kinds of contacts touch him? Contacts means sense experiences. Wow, this is a deep question. The monk answers, House Lord, when a monk has emerged from the attainment of cessation of perception and feeling, 3 kinds of contact touch him. That is the empty contact, the signless contact, the undirected contact. Here, the word is passa, contact. That means it's the experience, the way his mind experiences, a sense of total emptiness, not attached to nothing. That's the meaning. Okay. Second, signless. That means there are no mental objects, there are no meditation objects. The mind is just mind, very happy. And there is the undirected contact. You don't have to direct your mind, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. The mind is just at peace. Okay? So this is how the mind feels like, very peaceful. So this is where you can do what you like with your mind after this. To direct your mind to, say, reflecting on impermanence, or watching suffering, or watching non-self. Right? But otherwise, this mind is empty, signless, undirected, very peaceful, very clear, very joyful. So Chitta is very happy. 21, he says sadhu again, and then he asked the second last, and number 10, rather, question 10, section 22, question 10. Bante, when a monk has emerged from the attainment of cessation of perception and feeling, to what does his mind bend? To what does it slope? To what does it tend? Where does his mind would likely to go to? 22.2. The mind of a monk who has emerged from the attainment of perception and feeling, House Lord, bends to solitude, slopes to solitude, tends to solitude. Here is mental solitude. The mind is just happy in itself. That's the meaning. Aloneness by itself, the mind is happy. This is the meaning of solitude. And then Chitta says, Sadhu. Then he asks the last question, 11. That means section 24. Bante, how many conditions are of great help to the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling? And Kamabhu replies, now, House Lord, you have asked last, what should be asked first? However, I will still answer you. So it looks like this Chitta is not so enlightened after all. He's not Arahat yet anyway. So he asked, how many conditions help me to get into this meditation? Then the master, oops, you asked the opening question, but never mind, I'll answer you. So now the question is, how do we get into this state? And the monk replies, last sentence, 24.3, 2 conditions, House Lord, are greatly helpful for the attaining of the cessation of perception and feeling. That is calm and insight. Okay? Samatha and Vipassana. First, you calm yourself, and when you are calm, you reflect on impermanence. When you reflect on impermanence, you get calmer, then you let go of the reflection, you go back to your calmness, back and forth like that. Okay? So when you meditate, you do metta, may all beings be well and happy, then you feel joyful. If you're very calm, then you remain calm as long as you can. And then the thoughts come back, then you apply your meditation again, maybe watch the breath this time, in, out, in, out. And you feel peaceful again, okay, don't do anything. Just hold the peace as long as you can. And then you go back and forth like that. Of course, the time varies. If you're very good, the peacefulness lasts longer. Okay? But you go on practicing. So, calmness is the peaceful, the joy of the mind. Insight is looking into all this impermanence and so on. So these are the 2 practices that brings the monk into the cessation of perception and feeling. This is not an ordinary meditation. No ordinary person can do this. Only the Arhats and the Buddhas, and maybe the non-returners, can get into such a level where they can shut down the whole body. But Samatha, Vipassana, calm and insight is the way to do this. So there you are. This is a short talk on the cessation of perception and feeling. Right, today is the new moon day. We are gathered here. It's a very wonderful, blessed day. Here we are. We have come here. We have recited the 3 refuges, taken the 5 precepts. We have listened to the Buddha's teaching. These are all very good actions, wholesome actions. By the power of such good actions and the blessing of the 3 jewels, may we be well and happy. May we be blessed with the courage and wisdom to at least aspire to stream winning in this life itself. May those who are practicing the Dhamma to attain the path in this life itself. And may those who have difficulties with the teaching, who are lost, or who do not know the Buddha Dhamma, may they too see the true teaching in this life itself. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.